Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another weekend workshop. I'm excited that you're here. You're in great company today, and I certainly hope you're going to get to know some of the folks who are here on the call as well by using the Zoom chat frequently. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Carrie Ramsey, and I am the project manager here at the Weekend Project, which is led by Queen's University and funded by FedDev Ontario through the Women Entrepreneurship Strategy Ecosystem Fund. And over the past 3 years, we've done more than 100 of these virtual workshops, and it has been so wonderful to get to know so many of you. And I know that you're not all just in the same spot or in the same area. So what I would encourage you to do right now as we get started is why not introduce yourselves in the Zoom chat, drop a link to your website, let people know where you're connecting from. To me, it's always quite interesting to find out where folks are from. And while you're doing that, I will acknowledge that Queen's University is located on the unceded ancestral territory of the Anishinaabe and the Haudenosaunee peoples. And I don't know how many of you follow our Instagram account or Facebook or LinkedIn or even Twitter, but we have been sharing some great stories. Well, we always are sharing client stories because we've got so many great things to share about those who work with us. But in the next few weeks, there's going to be a number of stories coming out featuring Indigenous women entrepreneurs. And so watch for the stories of Maureen and Asha and Stephanie. Those are just a few that I can think of off the top of my head. Since this project began, we've served more than 100 Indigenous entrepreneurs, as I've mentioned before. That number just continues to grow week by week. And we're so thrilled, obviously, to have everyone on the call and everyone a part of this. But as a part of the land acknowledgement, I always like to say, you know what, this is really meaningful to me because of the incredible clients that we get to know and get to serve every single day. So thank you. I know many of you are on the call as well. So welcome to today's workshop. We are so thrilled to have Hadriana Leo today with us from Money Navigator International. She is going to talk to us about this topic that I know so many of us have struggled with at some point. And frankly, that is absolutely relevant on any day of the week. So, Hadriana, I'm going to pass you the virtual microphone. Welcome to the Weekend community. It's so great to have you here.
I am thrilled to be here. Thank you so much for that wonderful welcome. And ladies, I just keep smiling every time I see someone else enter the waiting room. It is a wonderful topic for us to be diving into this morning. Because believe it or not, you already have a money mindset. And I think we can agree that we all have stories in between our ears that are banging around that are instructing how we view money, how we relate to money, how we interact with money and with others when we talk about or think about money. So today we're going to explore how we're going to master this. How are we going to actually make a deliberate choice to select what our mindset is going to be? And that is my ultimate goal today, is that you can have at least one action takeaway from our conversation, because mindset is by far, it's intangible and it's hard to quantify. Talk all about the idea of it, the thought of it, the awe of it. We need to do something. And that's what I want you to plan for today. So before we juggle on and rush along, I think I should tell you a little bit about me, and then we can get to the good stuff. I'm the Money Navigator. I started this business. This is 2023 at the time of this recording. Almost, 8 years ago, when I left the traditional financial advisory world and moved into coaching. I knew something was missing because I was the ultimate financial advisor who was bouncing checks left and right. So we knew something was wrong, okay? I was literally managing millions of dollars of other people's money, and I could barely pay my mortgage. Something's wrong, or yes, something's very wrong. As part of my own self-discovery, I realized that something was missing, especially for women who lead with heart. And I saw an opportunity to kind of take all of that knowledge and put some nurturing put some hand holding and discover things that were beyond the numbers. And I started Money Navigator International, and I am on a mission to inspire women. In fact, wealth shouldn't even be optional. I think wealth is wellness. Wealth is all of us living to our highest and fullest potential. And yes, that may come with some zeros in front of the dot. Yes, thank you, hallelujah. Especially as business women, we are in business to make money. And sometimes that runs counter to what we have, how we've been socialized. So we're going to work on that money mindset today. And my hope again is that you have something to take away from this that will actually instruct your choice in your money mindset. Our deliverables, I'd like for us to identify and test our current money mindset. Because like I said before, it's already there. It's already happening. We're going to explore how we can ask the right questions so we can get the right answers. There are some questions I don't want you to be asking, not unless you're with a therapist or with a coach or with a guide. You're going to go down a rabbit hole and you are not coming out. These are not your questions, at least not for this part of your journey. Then we're going to look at some tools for your money mindset success. And then we're going to unleash that power that you can uncover everything that you're looking for, what you're wanting, what you're needing, and choosing the money mindset that you want. So how about we dive in? All right. I'm not going to ask you to close your eyes, but I want you to take this in. Mindset is the soil in which your dreams can grow. Mindset is the soil in which your dreams grow. And I prefer to come up with these kinds of statements because they relate concepts to me much better than Webster's Dictionary's definition. When I think of money mindset, I think of, are there any gardeners with us? Any gardeners that are itching to get into the soil? Because listen, there have been birds outside my window almost all winter. The tiny little fat, I think they're sparrows. I'm not very good at identifying them, but they've been singing outside my window almost all winter long. And I'm getting in the mood for hands in the dirt, but it's still too cold. So I'm very happy to see the sunshine. I'm very happy to connect with the soil. Ooh, Marcia ordered seeds. Yes, definitely. This is serious business when you're actually starting from seed. Mindset, our money mindset, especially as business owners, that is going to be the foundation of the results you get in your business, the results you get from your money as you plant strategies and all different tools and all of that into that soil. If you enrich the soil, you're going to maximize your opportunity to actually come out with bountiful produce or flowers, scented or otherwise, doesn't matter. If you have a rich soil, you're going to maximize your opportunity to really get what you want out of your planting experience. So think of your money mindset as that soil and be brave enough to dream for it. I don't know how many women I have come across where life has knocked us down so many times, we no longer dream. I mean, just take a moment. Think back to you as a child. And I'm very well aware that some of our childhoods may well have been quite traumatic. They may not have been idyllic in any sense. But I feel that at some point, we had dreams that we let go of. What that dream was. For some, it might have been that fairy tale prince riding on a white horse come rescue you and whisk you away happily ever, whatever. That may have been your dream. And for some reason, You let it go. Was it your dream to perhaps live in an exotic location? Someone's been living in Aruba. I see that. Perhaps that was the dream, and now you're coming to the point where you're maybe claiming it again. What was that dream that you may have let go of? And perhaps it might be time to pick it up again. Perhaps it might be time to dust it off, polish it off, put it up somewhere where you can see it, where it can sparkle and wink at you every now and then, so you remember that dream and you go after it. Well, mindset is the soil that will help you bring that dream to fruition. And don't get me wrong, strategies are important, tools are important, implementation is important in your business. But just for this presentation, we're going to look at specifically your money mindset. So let's dive right in. I'm going to invite you to dream with me, okay? And no, I'm not going to ask you to close your eyes. I'm going to ask you to dream with me because I want you to take a bit of a journey. So you do whatever works for you when you do your dreamscaping. If you want to lay down, if you want to put your feet up, if whatever you want to do, that's fine with me. But let's do a little bit of dreaming. I want you to tap into one of a goal, a big, hairy, audacious goal that you have for your business. Let's start with that. A wonderful, epic goal that you have for your business. What is one thing that your business could do for you that would actually be amazing? Think about that for a while. Sit with that for a while. And when you have it, I want you to visualize the path from where you are to get to that goal. Visualize the path from where you are now to getting to that goal. It's realized, it is done. All right. What's in your way? What's in your way? Because if we're not there, chances are we're dealing with some, I shouldn't have laughed right at that moment, but I saw someone said me. You know how many times I said to my coach, me? Yes, I get that. We're gonna go a little deeper, Kelly. We're gonna reach a little further. What's in your way? Now, you may have identified maybe opportunities, perhaps access to tools. I know the program is putting so many tools right there at our disposal, but there are still some things that may be in our way. I think I see here fear of success. So fear. There's a big hairy monster standing smack dab in the middle of your path to your greatest goal. And it's called FEAR. And you know what? I want you to watch it. I want you to look at it. Don't try to hide from it. Some people say, oh, squash the fear. Fear will instruct you, let me tell you. It's what you do with it. Okay, so what is in your way? I see time and overwhelm. So I'm assuming time constraints, perhaps lack of time, insufficient time, or poor time organization, lack of efficiencies, overwhelm. Listen, when I hit overwhelm, I don't know how you do it, but when I hit overwhelm, I curl up like a ball on the couch and I eat Cheetos. I'm telling you honestly. I don't even know if there's a food group for Cheetos, but that has been my go-to and I am working on it. In fact, there's no Cheetos in the house. So I've kiboshed my initial fear, my overwhelm response, but overwhelm is a big monster in the way to our successes. Cheetos, yay, Cheyenne. Okay, you know what? We can go into therapy together for our Cheetos. We'll work on it. But definitely cheese, whatever it is, you hit overwhelm and suddenly your progress towards your goal hits a hiccup, it hits a roadblock, it hits that thing that says, I can't go any further. And with each roadblock, your dream seems to slip that much further away. I want you to sit with the roadblocks. And here's the question I want you to spend the most time sitting with through this conversation and when you're replaying it and redoing the exercise. How do you feel when you think about crushing that damn roadblock? How do you feel about clearing out that thing that's in your way? What is the feeling you get inside? Ooh, I see some celebratory confetti. Someone's having a party. You know, they have these divorce parties that some women throw. It's like, I'm parting ways with you, fear. You be gone now. Is your feeling a celebratory one when you think about crushing that obstacle? Is your feeling one of mild trepidation where you're like, I don't know, I'm afraid to deal with this, maybe I should not? Is your feeling one of defeat? When you think about, listen, I can tell all of you honestly, me and social media have a hate-hate relationship, okay? I'm being honest. That's all I can be, is honest. However, I know its role in getting the word out. It's a platform, it's a path to your audience. It is wonderful, even while it's like, oh, okay, somebody help me. So I can appreciate that social media marketing is a bit of a roadblock in the way to me marketing my business. What did I do? I outsourced it, sisters. But then I also had to figure out what it was about social media that got me kind of feeling off. It was a privacy issue. It was an inauthenticity issue for me. And when I decided that I would face that platform authentically, and I would face it knowing the lack of my creative graphic skills, this girl is not creating any reels, not me. I knew that I had to outsource it. So here's what we did. I outsourced, I adjusted the mindset, and I pressed play. I was moving forward. So how you feel about the obstacle is actually going to be instructed by your mindset. You see, facing the obstacle is not a problem. We're all going to have challenges. Having obstacles show up, it's not a problem. It's part of the growth process. Knowing that you have a goal and you have not yet achieved it, there's no problem with that. The issue comes in where we are challenged is when our mindset cannot move us or put us in a place where we can meet the challenge. And we want, oh, I got gold. Yes, I got gold. Awesome sauce. When we can meet the challenge, we are positioned to reach the goal. So we need to choose how we're going to feel when we're going to face the challenge. And not just that, we're going to choose how we want to feel when we're going to reach the goal. So, ladies, let's do this. Next, we're going to talk about the questions you should be asking. And I want you to keep these in mind because you're going to be doing this yourself, for yourself, until such time as, well, I believe everyone should have a coach, a therapist, a support system that helps you see your blind spots. So someone who you trust, whether it is a paid professional or a trusted friend, who can help you find and identify the blind spots. When you have that, you can get the support you need to move from where you are to the next place. However, we need tools that would help us heal ourselves. The therapist may not always have a time slot that is convenient for you. Your friend may be off on vacation with their family, and that needs to be their priority. We need tools that we can deploy ourselves so we can get that ball rolling towards healing, creating great environments for our success, and to help our business maintain momentum. So when you're thinking, well, my money mindset really could use a shakeup. My money mindset was not too helpful for me today. Here are the questions I think we need to be asking. Do I benefit from this thought? Do I benefit from this position in my thought process? Does it benefit me? Now, I know many people say when you're talking about money mindset, ask why. Why am I thinking this? Why is this happening to me? Why did my mom say this to me at the dinner table when I was 5 years old? Why did, my piggy bank break just at the same time that the mirror fell off the wall? Why? Why? Not a bad question, but can you listen? I think all of you have had the toddler that says, "Mommy, why is the sky blue?" And you said, "Well, the sky is blue because of how far away it is. It looks blue." But why? Well, because the light is bending just so as it goes through the atmosphere. But why? Why? And why? You can see how asking why is a very open-ended question. And we can keep asking why for a long time and get stuck asking why to the point where we never actually take a step to resolution. And I personally think that asking why should be done with a trusted, hopefully professional. Sometimes when we ask why and we are not sufficiently self-aware, we end up in some serious delusions. Why isn't your business making money? Well, because I have no customers. Is that why? Is that why? Well, why don't you have any customers? Because, Facebook changed their algorithm. Well, why did Zuckerberg do that? These things have no way of instructing your money mindset. Here is the first or one of many questions you could be asking, but a very important question. Did that thought I just had benefit me? Was that beneficial? How is that helping? Did that actually help? If the answer is yes, honestly now, peoples, if the answer is yes, awesome. Fantastic. Keep that thought. Maintain that line of thinking. If the answer is no, you can choose. And I'll give you some tools a little later on. First question is, do I benefit from this thought? Do I benefit from this mindset position? Second question, what sets me off? What is it that triggers this line of thought? What is it? Listen, I have a good one. I dealt with a client one time where anytime we started talking about the ex, it just went sour. And it's because the ex and her current financial situation they were intertwined in her mind, because the life she lived prior to separation was very different from the life that she was living now. So ask yourself, what is your trigger? What is sending you down that rabbit hole? And face it, don't hide from it. Here's a hack I learned recently. I saw this from someone and then I quickly shared it with my community. In your phone contacts, if there's someone who calls you a lot, you can change their name in your contacts to something that you actually want to see. So if CRA keeps calling you about setting up your GST account or making it something or making an adjustment that you just keep forgetting about, save the CRA number that keeps calling you in your contacts and change it. Change it. So when the phone rings, it doesn't say Government of Canada. I know what it says. It says Government of Canada. If it says Government of Canada, when they ring, it will say something different. Something like, oh, I've got this under control is calling. Or it can say something like, this is an opportunity to grow is calling. It would be amazing. And I actually do it. I've changed 4. I've got my husband's, it's not his name anymore. I've got my 2 daughters, 2 different personalities. One says when they call, I am financially abundant. That's the one that's in university right now. And the second one, my younger daughter, who is currently in high school, for hers, it actually says money flows through me easily and abundantly because she has no problem making money. I mean, the kid is not even 15 yet. And money means it's like nothing. It has very little value to her. And yet it just keeps coming. This child made the mistake one day of offering a friend of hers a birthday gift. She had intended on taking $20 out of her wallet. It turned out some of the 20s stuck. Why she has all this money in her wallet, I don't know. But some of the 20s stuck together. And I pick her up the afternoon and she's like, Mom, I gave so-and-so $60. It was an accident, but I couldn't take it back. And you know what she said? Oh, well. Right? That's how she interacts with money. So she was the perfect one. She sends me TikTok videos all through the day. Why isn't this child in class paying attention? I don't know. But every time she sends me a message, you know what shows up? I am fine. What did I say again? I am money flows through me easily and abundantly. That's how I reinforce that. And it sets me off on the positive track instead of setting me off on a negative track. Simple hacks, little things that make the difference in understanding and setting up our money mindset. So what is setting you off? Is it setting you off to the positive, or is it sending you off to the negative? What could be something that is triggering a negative mindset experience with your business? What are some of the things, and I'm asking you, what are some of the things that you are dealing with in your business day to day that is setting you up to go down a negative spiral and your mindset goes click and then it's downhill from there? What are some of the things that you're dealing with in your business that it's not really, I see one. I'm gonna hold on that one. It's a big one. Yes, another big one. Yes, I'm looking through the chat. I see comparison. I I don't know if many of you interact with millionaire. We should all be millionaires. Well, my girl is very good. And I made the mistake of saying one day that I'm going to be that person of Canada. And my coach thankfully says, no, you're not going to be this person of Canada. Forget that. You're going to be you, because you is who Canada needs. Comparison really takes us down a horrible path unless we choose what we do with comparison. Unless we choose what we think when we see that person that everyone thinks should be your competitor. When we see that person who we assume is stealing our market share. How can we switch that? How can we adjust that? And we'll come to some tools in a little bit. But comparison, big problem. Debt, I see another one. Debt. Thanks for being honest, because many of us as women are bootstrapping our businesses. We are using our family money, our children's. There was one time my husband hurt his arm. My husband that was years ago now, my right-handed husband, that I like to say, he's a contractor. He does renovations and new builds. I like to say he just sees a job and he makes money. Very good, a la my second daughter. But that time he was doing quite a big job. He hoisted one of these custom all wood, like a 9-foot door in someone's house. They were doing a renovation. And he called me and he said, I don't know what just happened, but I heard something crack in my arm. And he's like, it's not broken, but it's weird. I'm like, okay, whatever it is, whatever, get to the hospital, WSIB and all that. And my husband went to the hospital. He had severed a tendon in his arm, which, my goodness, man, you break a bone, you're good in 6 weeks. You sever a tendon? My husband was off work for almost 8 months. He is right-handed and he severed the tendon in his right arm. And this man has no skills where he can say, let me make money on the computer. Forget that. He needs his hands in something. He needs to be doing things, hammering, hitting, zzz, all the things. And he hurt his arm. 8 months, let me tell you. And at that time, I was not yet a business owner. I was still doing that thing I told you about I did as a financial advisor and not too financially responsible. So you can well imagine 8 months without what would have been our bigger income earner at that time. It was a challenge. And I'll tell you straight, the RESP was liquidated. I had to eat. I had to give myself a fighting chance for us to get through this and come back around again. And thankfully, we got through it. But the debt had to climb. The debt had to climb. Things that we were saving for had to be redirected because we had to get through. And the same for our business. We sometimes have to pull from here and pull from there to get through. And debt could well be that thing standing in the way for you. And you're thinking, how am I ever going to get through that? Well, we're going to restructure that debt. We're going to re-instruct our minds with how we're going to deal with that debt to the point where our mindset will create the rich soil that will take care of the debt, like those bugs that eat, the bugs that eat your produce. I've got a cherry tree in the back that the leaves were all curled up. And I'm like, no, please don't die. And we need to take care of the bugs. But you know what takes care of bugs? Other bugs. So we have to bring some more bugs in. But we need to instruct our mindsets so that it benefits us. So understanding what sets you off. All right. What do I desire? That is the other question I think we need to spend some time asking. When you're looking to create that rich money mindset, the one that is going to produce great results for you, it is absolutely imperative that you understand what you want. What do you actually desire from your business? I mean, the goal that we spent some time visualizing earlier, that's one thing. But what do you desire from your business? What do you desire from the revenue that you will earn this quarter? What will that actually get you? It's great, ladies, for you to think, you know what? I'm going to make 50 grand this quarter. No problem. And some of you are thinking, hey, let's be realistic. I don't live in reality, ladies. I live in the land of my dreams. Okay. So 50,000 this quarter is not only possible based on the mindset that I'm creating, it becomes highly probable, right? Because we're nurturing that environment. So 50K this quarter. We say we want it, but what does that mean? What does 50K do for you that you actually want? What do you desire? And don't be afraid if you don't know. Because we haven't spent time asking ourselves these questions. What do you desire? For me, I am a bit of a hedonist. Anything pleasurable, sensuous, relaxing, where I get to just lay there and everything is done for me, I'm there for that. So my vision board has a private chef. It has a maid with, the maid with the little feather duster thing. Yes, it has a picture of that. And it has a picture of the balcony that will be in my dream home that overlooks the waterway. Yes, that's what I desire. And desiring that is making that a reality is dependent on me making that $50,000 quarter. Okay, so ask yourself, what do I desire? Remember, we're setting ourselves up to first examine our mindset, and then we're going to use some tools to create, reframe, reset the mindset to what you want it to be. So, does that thought benefit me? What is it that's setting me off? Please don't run away from it. Let's face up to it. And what is it that I actually want? What do I desire? Not how am I going to get 50,000? What can 50,000 create for me that I actually really want? What do you desire? Take some time. I see spa days. Oh yes, Lux, totally Lux. You know what too? I should add this. It's a-okay if what you desire is altruistic. It could be something that drives your heart to give or to benefit others. I will encourage you to always connect that desire to an innate sense of you, because that desire has to be strong enough for you to see the roadblocks and still choose to crush it. So I'm going to ask that whatever that desire is, whether it is to save all the cats in the neighborhood, whether it is for you to be a stay-at-home grandma and just take care of these grandkids and pour everything into them that you didn't have time to pour into your own, including the candy, and then send them off. Whatever that happens to be, make sure it's something that is genuinely, authentically speaking to you. What do you desire? And if you have to be selfish, go for it. I'm there for that too. So here are 3 tools that I'd like you to consider consider using when you are setting up or working on your money mindset for your business. Marcia's with the grandkids. Yes. So you get, and don't underestimate the amazing value of being that grandparent in the lives of that next generation. It is, my girls grew up away from their grandparents because my husband and I came to Canada and both our parents are away from us. But we found a community and we found them some honorary grandparents. I'm thankful to say. So with that in mind, let's explore some tools. Let's explore some tools that you can use in creating the money mindset that you actually want to have as your reality. So first, affirmations that work. It's a big deal because affirmations fly left and right, up and down, And people, women, business women, are standing in their mirrors, saying things, repeating things that make no sense. And I love affirmations. I love affirming my desired outcomes. But when you went to some conference and they said to you, every morning, stand in the mirror and say, I am powerful beyond measure. My life is exactly as I want it. Well, I'm sorry. The moment you got out of bed, you stepped on the toy that your child didn't put away. Okay? So let's do some affirmations that actually make sense, and they're going to work for us. I am a big believer in the power of words, but when words do not resonate, they lose their power. So the affirmations that you're going to use and choose need to make sense for you, right? There has to be at least a grain of belief to build on, right? And that grain of belief, we will work on it, and your repeating the affirmations will help you make it bigger and grow and more impactful and more powerful. But we need to start somewhere. Me saying to a business owner that, you know what, in 6 months to a year, your business will be debt-free and you will be making 10 times the revenue. So your affirmation for this encounter that we will have, you're going to wake up in the mirror and look in the mirror and say, my business, I'm going to 10x my business in 12 months. I am a money magnet. And then you need to sit in front of your computer that day and look at the debt, look at the 0 leads, look at the price you're paying for Google ads and not getting any conversions. Look and look and look. And then that affirmation is supposed to resonate with you. That's rough. That's rough. So let's work on some affirmations that are actually going to do some good for you. I'm glad you asked this question. What affirmations have worked for when I first started? I'm going to help. Part of our exercise that we're going to do with one of you is going to actually help structure some meaningful affirmations. So we're going to work our way through that, and we're going to help you develop affirmations that are actually meaningful. One of the things I think was helpful for me was acknowledging where I was and then reframing. So not making it what it wasn't. My business has debt, and the choice was, I can think about debt as that thing that just buries me in my business, or I can think of debt as the tool that I'm going to use to leverage. So I've never actually done affirmations for myself for debt, not for business debt anyway, but an affirmation could be, when you're thinking about debt, is I am leveraging other people's money to create success for my business. Now, with that affirmation, now the onus is on you, because you've got the part, leveraging other people's money, that's already there. The debt is there to create success for your business. So that means any debt that you're incurring needs to be tied to a success plan. You're no longer just going to be borrowing for your business because someone said that this CRM is so fantastic, it's wonderful. One of the things I always say to my clients who happen to be business owners is, what is the best use of your money that will create the biggest return? What can you invest in that is actually going to create the biggest return? So yes, you can pay for a photo shoot. Yes, you can pay for a branding session. Yes, you can pay for a CRM. Yes, you can pay for a social media assistant or a content planner. Yes, you can pay for Google Ads. But which of these 5 is going to bring you the biggest return on investment? That's what you would use other people's money to create leverage for your business. So the photo shoot, I'm sorry, brethren, we're pretty, and the cell phone cameras these days are very good. Get your teenager, your neighborhood kid can probably set you up with a nice background. I can let you borrow my Ginger because she is my muse. Set yourself up in a nice part of your home and take a professional shot or 2. Now may not be the time for the $5,000 branding session. Okay, so having the mindset instructs the action. Having the right affirmation instructs what you're going to be doing for your business. And I'm talking about this from a business perspective because this is first and foremost for business women, but this is applied to your regular everyday life as well. Your affirmations must work. It needs to absolutely make sense or else it's useless to you. The next thing, create positive reinforcement. Now, this is harder to do because if I ask you, what is something you can celebrate in your business? The list might be very short. If I say to you, what are the things you need to correct in your business? Down the list. Well, what I would like you to do when you're setting yourself up for money mindset success, I need you to be deliberate. In fact, I need you to be anal about cataloging the good stuff. Catalog the positive stuff. Because every single time you flex your money muscle and it does something good, it sets you up to do it again and do it again and do it again and again and again. But many times when money does good in our business, we forget about it because the good it did was not a big deal. We didn't win the $50,000 corporate contract. You know, we didn't. We forget that we had the opportunity to meet with Kaylee, and Kaylee was a great contact. She connected me with Dawn, and we were able to run a collaborative project together. And together we got great traction that resulted in XYZ dollars dot zero, whatever. We forget the positive things. Catalog every revenue success in your business. Everyone, I'm going to ask you. Well, put it in the chat. Tell me about a money success. Tell me about a financial positive experience that you've had in your business. I don't need all the details because I know for many of us, money is private. But how about we set up this one little space in time when we can just acknowledge good things that have happened to us in our business as it relates to our money. Ooh, I'm loving this. I'm loving this. I'm loving this. I'm loving this. Ah, yes. Good things. Let's see. Yes, the weekly wins, being hired to do wellness for businesses, and it's starting to flourish in the business. Several clients over 50 years. Let me just throw in there, Kelly, I hope you've been adjusting your pricing. Any client you've had for 15 years needs to have a serious adjustment in your pricing, but that's strategy. That's not yet mindset. And if not, and if you need to ask yourself why there haven't been adjustments, you need to speak with a professional to uncover what's holding you back there. But absolutely, let's see, monthly retainers instead of exchanging time for money. Oh, that's a big one. That is a huge one. What are our successes? I'm waiting for more because I know there are more. I know there are more. Learning to celebrate my success has been such a big thing I valued about being in masterminds. I set up my own mastermind, let me tell you. I know that this was a few years ago now. I know what I needed and I know where it was not. I was not getting it. So I approached two other ladies where I liked what I was seeing in their business. I enjoyed their perspectives. They had the right attitudes. And I'm like, I want to be around that. So I invited them to a yoga bar, sat down. I said, well, here's my proposal. Can we do a mastermind? We have enough complementary skill sets that would benefit each other. So there's no need to pay each other. There's no need to pay a fee or anything like that. And we've been growing and challenging and pushing each other for quite a few years now. Masterminds work, and don't think that it has to be some big coach running some big program. Identify complementary skill sets around you that could be beneficial to help you create the environments you need for success. New collaboration classes that are selling out. So, if you're selling out, you need to now start adding more seats. I'm just saying. Our businesses are doing great things, and we forget to acknowledge that. In fact, I think sometimes our businesses are doggone resentful of us because we forget to turn back and say, thank you, I appreciate you. Our businesses just get beat up, beat down, and told everything they're not doing, because we forget to turn around and say to our businesses, you know what, Money Navigator International, you are awesome. You are creating opportunities for me that I never thought would happen. Look at where you are now. You're talking to these awesome weekend women. That is an easy way to positively reinforce the good that your business is doing, right? I talk to our businesses like they're plants. I think I draw the line there. I do not talk to my plants. As much as I love growing my garden, it's growing. Yeah, I love my lilac. I can't wait for it to blossom, but we do not have conversations. Okay. But definitely talk to your business, relate to your business in ways that positively reinforce the good that is happening. Let me see. Perfect. It's like a bad relationship. We don't appreciate our businesses enough. Definitely, for sure. The last tool that I want to throw your way is playful experimentation. I think we need to take a load off, girls. I mean, I know our businesses have to be profitable. I know that our businesses feed us and clothe us. I know that our businesses have responsibilities to our clients, deliverables, things we have to ensure are done. But does it always have to be so serious? When was the last time you actually had fun in your business? That thing that's consuming so much of your time, that thing that's taking up so much of our energy. When was the last time you had fun doing something in your business? If it ain't fun, you're probably not looking forward to coming back. And creating a positive money mindset in your business is going to be greatly helped by enjoying your money-making activities in your business. So how can we infuse some playful experimentation? First of all, I don't know about you guys, Google ads are expensive. I'm just going to tell you straight. And I don't like using words like expensive or cheap, because they don't mean anything. I think I prefer to use words like value. So whether or not it's a good value, whether or not it's a meaningful investment for the business. So I am very deliberate with words, but I'm telling you straight, Google ads cost a lot of money. I went from getting 60 to 70 leads, hits to my website a day when I'm running Google ads to when I turn them off. I think I got like 5, if that. So what am I going to do? I'm going to make Google a wonderful experiment. Google is no longer about the money. Google for me right now is, okay, I got 60 the other day. I'm tweaking that ad. I'm going for 120. Watch me, right? How about taking off this always serious and heavy approach that we make to our business and its capacity to generate revenue, and we have a little fun? Experiment. That was a game changer for me when my coach said to me, we're just going to try it. If it works, it works. If it doesn't work, it's okay. And all of a sudden, the load was off. Try it. You want to have a webinar and you're fearful that not many people will come. If you approach that webinar from a perspective of, my money mindset here is playful experimentation, you run the webinar that one time. You got 5 people say they're coming, 1 showed up. I know it's happened to me. One. And the Zoom can take like hundreds, and 1 showed up. You know what you do with that? You tweak it. You experiment. You do up a little chart if charts are your thing. You treat yourself when it's going the right direction, and you give yourself maybe an extra round of sit-ups when it's not. I don't know. Have some fun. Bring some levity into your business operations, into your revenue creation, into every little thing that you're doing. I am not negating the impact of your business. I am by no means saying that your business is a joke. So let's be straight. I am on a mission to inspire the world. You know how big and heavy that is. So that's for me. That's big and heavy all by itself. My business is not a joke, because when money is in women's hands, we literally change the world. I need more women wealthy. This is big. But if every day I got up and all I can think of is, I need women wealthy because I need the patriarchy to die. I do not. Let me just be clear. But we certainly need the system adjusted. If that was me every day, I would not want to stay in this business for long. But if I can bring some lightness, some levity, some small and big wins to my experience, my money mindset would continue to reinforce my success. And that's where I'd like for all of us to use these tools, put them into play. And there are other things we can do, but we're quickly going to run out of time. But use affirmations in ways that are meaningful to you. That small grain of belief needs to be there. Use positive reinforcements. I've seen this done, and I've never, honestly, I'll be honest with you, I've always said I would do it, but I never get through the whole year. But I've seen it done where, you get a jar and you write down positive things that have happened, you put it in a jar, and at the end of the year, you pour it out and you read it all. I'm more of a short-term, I'm a sprinter. It's one of the things with how I operate. I'm a sprinter, not a marathoner. I need to do it like on a monthly basis or else it's not going to continue. But record the positives in your business and bring some levity to it. So that would be 3 three tools I think that would be beneficial for you and your money mindset. So let's do a little bit of a role play here. Where did the mouse go? I got my warning and it's still okay. Let's do, sorry, Carrie. I thought I had it down.
It's perfect. You're perfect.
Let's do a little bit of a role play. Now, I do have a volunteer. I hope she is here.
Ophelia, are you there? I think you're down below. I saw you.
Ophelia.
I'm here.
Awesome. Hi, Ophelia. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I am very well, and thank you for agreeing to be our model for this little part of our exercise. I'd like for us to work on creating an affirmation that's meaningful.
Okay.
So let's start. Now, before any of you think that Ophelia is going to put out any of her business, Ophelia, you have full permission to make this up on the spot. You can be honest if you want, you can make it up. It's on you, it's your choice. There will be nothing about this that we will be reporting to anyone else. So even if the whole world will watch this YouTube at some point.
Do you want me to pause this, Ophelia? Pause the recording?
I don't know what the question is first.
So fair enough. The question is, it's really going to be driven by you. We're going to talk about one challenge that you may be having with your business, and together, and that's with everybody on the line, we're going to help to create an affirmation statement that will be meaningful for you. So it's up to you whether you want it paused or not.
It's fine.
Okay.
You can leave it on.
Yeah. And you can make it up, no problem. Okay, so let's and everyone, thank you to Ophelia for agreeing to do this. You're brave because she's now finding out what it's about. So let's start with I guess we'll start with, tell us a little bit about your business, Ophelia.
So I work with inclusive leaders and organizations to help them to create communities of belonging through workshops, training, and consultations.
So you work with corporate clients?
I work with corporate clients, small businesses, nonprofits.
Okay, small business. Do you like that environment?
Yeah, because I get to pick it. I get to pick. That's why I work with inclusive leaders. So people who are already familiar with working in EDI and have a commitment to it. So that's what I really enjoy.
So you enjoy, okay, so that part of your work is identifying the person who's already committed to the cause. They're already sold on the idea of doing this. Yes.
So the clients that tend to come to me are, I don't really work a lot with identifying them, because just with how I present myself in social media, if they're not interested, they kind of pre-screen themselves out. So, and a lot of it comes from word of mouth and recommendations.
Okay, sounds good. Tell us a little bit about with the idea that we're talking about money mindset and mastering that money mindset. What challenges, or perhaps what is one challenge that you have been or could be facing in your business that you would like some assistance with or some support?
I think the money challenge for me is that for a number of years, I've always been an entrepreneur. I've always had that side hustle. Mm-hmm. And in the last year, I went working, being a solo entrepreneur. So a lot of times the panic comes back because not having that regular every 2 weeks paycheck, and you're like, ah. And so sometimes it's that fear or that panic because you've worked through with a coach or a profession, but it always pops back up when, you know, you have the client and you know that the client's commitment or contract is ending, and it's the panic. Oh my God, should I go look for that job and get that every 2 weeks paycheck? So that is something that I'm working on. And I think, you know, a lot of women can identify with that. It's just that, you know, because we've been trained that the only way we can make money is to make it this way.
Yes. Right. I know that panic. Oh, do I know? I know the panic. It's like, do I have to go find another of someone to, go through this again and hope they stay, hope that it's good, hope that, it's almost like you dealing with the next contract is like fingers and toes crossed, hopeful and all that. I understand where that's coming from. Now, everyone else who's listening to this, your thoughts, you can pop them in the chat. We're going to help Ophelia create an affirmation that's going to help inform that panic and hopefully remove it. It shouldn't be panic. I think we would like to find a way to reframe that from panic to possibly momentum or movement or action, so that when it hits, it doesn't freak you out, it fires you up. Okay,
good.
so let's see what we can do to uncover that. Tell me about your favorite contract so far. No, nothing identifying. Let's tap into that favorite contract so far.
My favorite contract came to me, and I'm currently sort of creating it, and it's happening. It came to me unexpectedly, and it came to me from sort of one person saw me speak, and they knew me, they recommended to me, and it came through LinkedIn. And I'm excited because I don't have to, all the words this leader knows in this organization, they're passionately committed to bring in equity. And what I love about it is I have full reign, and they're looking for me to tell them what to do. And, growing up as an only child, I'm a little bossy Bessie sometimes.
You're ready to do that.
So it's like, hey, I get to do that, and it's exciting. It's challenging. All the thing about time, I get to create my own hours, and I don't have to give up the things that other clients that I'm working, they're willing to work with me. So that to me is an ideal client, and it's long-term. Right. They've already committed to extending if I need more time, so it's all those wonderful things.
Anything jump out at you when she was sharing, and put it in the chat, when she was sharing aspects of her favorite contract so far? I've been just jotting down some notes. It's how I work with clients, really. You already have the answer. It's inside you.
What Cheyenne said in the chat.
Yes, it's already there. When you're working with a professional, it's our job to help you get it out. We help to optimize, speed things up, create efficiencies and all of that. But know this, ladies, it's already in there. So we're gonna work our way through it. Okay, so I see here, she didn't have to advertise. Listen, if you're getting clients and you don't have to put money out to market, I think you already have a treasure trove of evangelists, definitely. Full reign. Control is important, and it helps you to have an enjoyable interaction with the client. Good things show up. I like that. Good things did show up. And yes, having control, using your full talents. I love that it was unexpected. Ophelia, how are you with surprises? Do you like
love surprises?
Okay.
Yes. I'm a spontaneous person. I don't like to, why I love being an entrepreneur is that I love spontaneity. I love creativity. I've learned that I necessarily can't do everything on the fly, but I'm really good at doing that on the fly. That's why I love speaking, right? Because sometimes if you're a speaker, you'll know something, you'll prepare, and then you get there and like, oh, the PowerPoint's not working. The power's off. We have no Wi-Fi. Back to old school. Let's use the flip chart paper.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I love that. And you're so right. Sometimes things just get downloaded and you enjoy that experience. So how about we use that ideal contract experience to create an affirmation that will reinforce that feeling that you want to continue? Because it sounds to me that when you're operating, Cheyenne said it, when you're operating in that intuitive space, you flow. Things work nicely. You're in an environment where you get to do your best work. So let's say you have wood somewhere. My desk is glass. Just knock on wood when I say, let's say this favorite contract of yours is coming to an end. And that feeling of panic and anxiety is starting to come back. Ladies in the chat, how can Ophelia reframe and avert panic by affirming her powers, her experience so far? What positive things can we reinforce in an affirmation statement? What feeling can we encourage using her words and creating an affirmation that would actually work? I'm going to let you play with that. Ophelia, anything coming to you as you're thinking it through?
I like the word momentum. Yeah. Somebody wrote in the chat, beautiful surprises are coming my way. I like that.
Yes.
Abundance is flowing. I'm moving from, I don't want to use the word fear, but I'm just sort of, I think for me, affirmations is acknowledging what I'm feeling and then right away sort of, shifting it. So I don't know what that word would be.
Okay, that's fine. I don't know if you all noticed this, but when I asked Ophelia to describe her greatest contract, she said nothing about how much they paid.
Oh, yes.
Right?
Well, I thought you just wanted to me, but they paid me really well.
No, that's the thing. Your measure of a great client interaction is not initially measured by a revenue number.
Oops.
So that's kind of what I was thinking when I said you didn't mention money. That is not your first or primary go-to for a positive interaction measurement.
No, I shouldn't say but, and I love money.
Yes.
But I'm not, right? In the 2 years of working in weekend, I have learned so the other thing is that I've learned is that I charge what I'm worth, right? And it's taken me a long time to say that. And the success of this new client is when I was feeling like I was about to throw up when I was saying, well, this is my fee, but I didn't show it. And I thought, yeah, you're getting an amazing woman who is educated and has all this experience. You're lucky to have me.
Yeah. And
I didn't say that to them, but that's what I felt.
And I agree 100%. When we are as good at our jobs as we are, listen, when I'm charging my fee, you're getting it at a major discount.
Yeah. And, and I love, and to me, just a little thing, when I've always focused on money and undercharge, I found I didn't get as many clients because I was resentful. And I believe a lot in energy. People didn't want to work with me because I was like, oh my God, you're only paying me. But I wasn't saying this, or I was doing too much free stuff. So I shifted and I became a businesswoman, and I have a business and I need to pay the bills.
Listen, your fee is your gift to the world. Yes. But let's look at some of the affirmations that have been suggested, or some of the statements. And you talked about beautiful surprises flow. I think incorporating surprise and spontaneity into your affirmations is important because you look like you really enjoy it. So whatever statement you come up with should encourage and reinforce the opportunity for spontaneity. Let's see, my influence brings more clients on a continuous manner. Yes.
I like that one.
Yes. Something like, and this is just us throwing things out there, and you are going to customize it. I will always bet on myself despite the fear. You've developed great momentum. Keep betting on yourself. Everything I need to succeed is right in front of me.
Yeah, and Susan wrote, I thrive in belonging and live in success. Oh, I love that one.
Now, when the affirmation connects to you, it is more powerful. So if we had taken one of the off-the-counter affirmations that said, I live above fear, I will not panic, or fear is not my friend, I have overcome it. That it doesn't have the same ring as I have a wonderful sea of evangelists who will tell my story and download surprising, awesome clients to my inbox today.
Oh, I like that.
And I can't repeat it because it just came out, right?
It's okay. We recorded it, Hadriana. She'll be back.
Well, I always feel I always say to myself, I have what's the word? I have, here's Jurassic Park.
Oh, is that
My Alexa just came on and I don't know why that happened. That's weird. So much for AI. It says like, oh my God, sorry about that.
That's okay. Yeah, you were saying that you like, there's one that you like.
I always put that I am powerfully supported by I'm a woman of faith. So I always am powerfully supported by my ancestors and community. So that's always to me, because and they bring me opportunities that would of success and abundance. And I thrive. I thrive in a place of belonging. So that sits well with me. I think it's
so every time you feel the panic possibly kind of nipping at your heels and you're like, you're trying to come, or you're trying to become the focus today, and I will not let you, repeat your affirmation and reinforce that affirmation with examples of how it has worked in the past. How it, every time you thought, well, I don't know where the money's coming from next, this client's wrapping up, and a beautiful client drops into your lap that you had no idea was coming. Think of that. And let's set it up that you acknowledge the possibility of this spiraling out into panic. However, you have a track record that proves that your community and your ancestors are every day working to create beautiful surprises of abundance for you. So that's just one example of how we can develop affirmations that are impactful, meaningful, authentic, and trust me, it works. All right. It absolutely works. Ophelia, did you have any questions for me before I let you go, or to our powerful contributors in the chat?
Well, there's so many there that I really liked how you talked about not necessarily using the classic ones, because I always feel that sometimes they just don't work, where
they don't connect.
I'm safe, I am abundant, and then the panic is still there, and you're like, well, I need to address that. So I really like that you are saying that, you know, it's real and it's personal and it feels more authentic. So thank you.
My pleasure. Awesome, awesome, awesome. My goal here is, and thank you, Ophelia, for that. I'll release you if you need to run off and turn off your video if you want to. But yeah, I hope that the exercise was beneficial in helping you, all of us on this call, actually work through creating that affirmation, actually tapping into not just the words, but the feeling behind the words, the experience behind the words. And when we can tap into that, our affirmations are that much more powerful. So thanks to all of you. Listen, we have some great affirmations in the chat. And I think if you can save the chat, some of these could be the building blocks for some really powerful language to help our businesses flourish and move forward. So thank you again, all of you. I'm happy to take any questions you might have. I really want us to remember that a healthy money mindset produces bold and vibrant dreams. So invest in enriching that mindset. Spend time in working that environment. It does not have to be intangible. You may not be able to touch it in the physical sense, but you can interact with that mindset, inform it. You can spend time nurturing it and enriching it to be exactly what you want it to be. And depending on those dreams that you're going to shine off and polish up and put back on display, the time and effort you're going to invest into creating that healthy money mindset, it is worth it. Just think of that dream that you had parked that you didn't think your business was able to do for you. It's too much work. That dream is worth it to invest in that healthy money mindset. So I'm going to open up the chat for any questions you might have, Carrie.
Yeah, so I'll take a look at the chat as well. And Hadriana, maybe you want to put your email either on screen or in the Zoom chat if anyone wants to reach out to you. Perfect. Yeah. Afterwards as well. If there's any questions, feel free to put them into the Zoom chat and we can address them here. There's been so much juicy goodness here today that I'm sure you're just reeling from it all. And also I've put a link to the We Can YouTube channel where this workshop will be uploaded probably later this afternoon, assuming my day goes smoothly. So if not, check on it. It'll be there by tomorrow. And by all means, share it with anyone else that you know, because we've heard from a great expert in the room today. Any questions that anyone has, or everyone's going to go use their lunch hour to start working on their money affirmations. I love it.
Oh, absolutely. and make it fun. You know what, too? Whatever language you treat yourself with, give yourself a treat for doing the work. I mean, you don't always have to buy something to treat yourself. Maybe if you don't already, you can turn off the computer early on a Friday, start the weekend early if you don't already for your business. That could be a beautiful treat for yourself. Maybe instead of lunching at your desk, naughty. Maybe you will make it a habit now to use your lunchtime to step away from the computer, work on your money mindset, and then mindfully enjoy your meal, letting go of everything else so that you come back to your work fresh and refreshed. Hadriana, are you still uploading to YouTube? Let's see. I do have my YouTube channel up. I'm working on a new series for YouTube. I don't know if that's what you were asking, Marcia, but I know this will be on the YouTube We Can YouTube channel. So definitely look out for that as soon as it's ready to get put up there for sure. But yeah, there's I know the feeling of having to work through everything you just heard. It's a lot. But how about this? Perhaps, Carrie, as you continue to interact with the We Can women, because yay, we keep going. It's not over. It's not ending. Perhaps we can set up regular intervals where our women do a bit of money mindset check-ins. It might be something that, and it's not official, it's not anything that has to go on the calendar. Perhaps it's at regular intervals, you send in maybe by email a note to Carrie, this is my affirmation, this is how it has worked. And here is an example of positive reinforcement, just something simple to help with accountability. I think we have great momentum when we're at the conference and we're like, yes, I'm going to do this, and yes, and then we go home and our husband needs this or our partner needs that and the children want this and the dog needs attention, and all of our great intentions just kind of, yeah.
That's a really great point. And we do, of course, have our We Can community of women entrepreneurs in our Facebook group, not the page, but the group. And if anyone's on the newsletter, you'll see a link to that group. It might be a great idea if anyone has that, like now and then you just want to post, hey, here's an affirmation I'm using today. What are you using? And just like throw it out, and we can, continue that thread, or like you say, from time to time, so that it doesn't get shelved and we forget all about it.
That's right.
Mhm.
And we don't want it to become that thing in the calendar that you have to do.
True.
It needs to be something that integrates in a meaningful way for you.
Yeah.
So I'm just throwing it out there.
I love it. Cheyenne has come up with the name money mindset check-in. So I'm putting you in charge of that, Cheyenne. Cheyenne's in one of our masterminds actually also. So I was going to say that the masterminds are another great place to do that, whether you have your own mastermind or whether you become a part of one of our weekend masterminds. So yeah, I just want to thank everyone for taking part today. That was absolutely amazing, Hadriana. Thanks so much. I'm putting my email in there one more time. Of course, you all have it because I sent you out the link for this. But if anyone's interested in joining the weekly newsletter list, it's full of funding opportunities and workshops like this, as well as those opportunities that we talked about today, like the Facebook group and of course, and the masterminds. So thank you, Hadriana. On behalf of all of us, thank you so much for taking the time to create such a thoughtful presentation. And we can tell you live it and you breathe it. So it's absolutely authentic. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Carrie. And thanks, everyone.
Thanks. Enjoy your day, everyone.
Okay, bye.